Good afternoon, everyone, and we are going to begin momentarily with today's live stream of the Nasdaq 100 futures. So we'll get started in about 5 minutes. Hello everyone, my name is Chris and I am the Algo trader, and today we're going to be doing a live session of the Nasdaq 100 futures. Got a bunch of stuff to cover in today's live session, so stick around. We're going to go ahead and kick this off momentarily. Hello everyone. Miss Veep, thank you for joining. All right, everyone, we've got a lot to cover in today's live session. Markets have been highly cyclic today, so we are going to go ahead and, without any further delay, get this bad boy started, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Awesome, guys. It is Thursday, June 27th. Good afternoon. My name is Chris. I am the Algo trader, and we're kicking off past the morning rush at 2 p.m., diving straight into a market that's buzzing but not boiling. Today, we're seeing some significant movements from the tech giants like Amazon and Apple, which really are dictating the pulse of the Nasdaq. Meanwhile, broader market indices like the Russell 2000 they are hinting at underlying caution. So we're going to dissect what this means for our trading session today. We're actually navigating through a mixed sea of signals today. On one side, you've got mega cap stocks like Amazon, which, if you believe this, it's now a $2 trillion giant, which are pushing indices higher. On the other hand, we see the broader market struggling to find solid ground, kind of reflecting in negative breadth figures and declines in smaller indices. So this contrast really posed a question. Are we in for selective rallies, or will the broader market catch up? Okay, and that's something that is a wait and see type of deal as we progress through the next few days. Earnings are front and center today. You had Micron's post-earning dip. It just dipped, despite strong earning results. And that kind of points to high expectations already priced in. Meanwhile, you had Walgreens falter, which had a drag on sentiment this morning. And each of these narratives, when you read your morning brief, provides us with different insights into market expectations and investor sentiment. Particularly Walmart's sharp drop after the announcement that they were cutting guidance. That in itself reminds us of the market's sensitivity to forward-looking statements. But today, we've had a whole mixed bag. Today's economic data, when you looked at it this morning, it just, all of that adds another layer to our analysis, what you do at the very outset of your trading day. We saw that while GDP revisions, they kind of offered a mild positive surprise, the bigger story is the continuing jobless claims hitting a new high since late 2021, indicating potential cracks in the labor market. Additionally, the softness in durable goods orders, especially the drop in business spending, might be signaling a cautious approach from businesses, amidst this economic uncertainty. So, in this complex landscape, our CYMO Pro indicators are more crucial than ever. And today, I'll show you how they're interpreting these mixed signals on a 15-minute and 4-minute chart, especially focusing on how to trade in a market that's driven by a few heavyweight stocks. And we're going to go ahead and get right down into that right there. Mentor Q, or, G-Rod. Welcome back, man. So G-Rod's asking Mentor Q or Getbox for Gamma. They're both good, man. They are both good. GetSpot actually offers you, I'd like to say, more of a real-time analysis of what's going on, whereas Mentor Q will scrape the data early in the morning from the CBOE, which is the same thing I do, and then they'll give you the plot levels on their Discord channel. Both are good. They are both good. So it's really the trader's choice. If you want to use GetSpot or Mentor Q, I think they're both good. I just think GetSpot provides more real-time insights that they've somehow managed to do on their platform, which I think is pretty cool. Whereas Mentor Q just provides it once a day. But I would examine both of them. They've got a lot of documentation concerning use, and then you can decide which one you want to use. But they're both good, and that in and of itself makes it a little bit of a challenge picking which one to go to, because they are both good. So let's take a peek, guys. Let's bang this out right now and see how the Nasdaq 100, absolutely, my pleasure, and see how the Nasdaq 100 has been performing this morning. Okay, so I went over the brief with you guys right now. Let me see if I could bring this up a little more here so you guys can actually see the complete chart right there. Well, you can see a good bit of it there. All right, we read the brief. We kind of went over what's going on in the market. There's a lot of moving parts. Then you've got the presidential debate tonight. Don't forget, whether you're here in the U.S. or you're overseas, I get people looking at this from all over the globe. You got to watch that presidential debate tonight, okay? Especially if you're a trader, because that has the potential to set market sentiment for the next trading day on Friday. So you want to take your cues from that presidential debate. Look at that closely. It's going to be a one-of-a-kind debate, and it's going to happen at 9 p.m. 9 p.m., right? 9 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. So definitely tune into that presidential debate tonight. It's going to be something worth watching. You don't want to miss that, okay? So we got a lot of moving parts that we just went over that are happening in the market that are all hitting the headlines all kind of at once, you know, all kinds of stuff. So looking at the 15-minute time frame, I had this for the last like 3 or 4 days, probably more for like the last 5 days, set at 11. I said, all right, let me just set it at 9. I want to see how this is going to respond. So I kind of felt today was going to be a really noisy day, and sure enough, it was. Okay, right out of the gate, 9:45 a.m. Okay, you had cycle moving up right here. Okay, you had momentum, which had just done an about face, moving up as well. Okay, then all of a sudden you get the cyclic turn, which ended, you know, your trade to the upside right at about, I would say that's 10:30 in the morning when cycle crossed below the zero line right there. 10:30 in the morning. Trade's over, guys. There's nothing there. You know, you can get your refill for the morning coffee right there and be done with it. But I will tell you this. There was something really interesting that happened right here, right at this juncture right here. And I'm going to show you that in the 4-minute, because this is the bar right here. This bar right here is the bar that would have taken you out if you would have set a stop loss too tight. And a stop loss too tight on this bar right here would have absolutely have taken you out, because this was a pretty big swing right here. And I'm going to show you how you could have avoided that this morning on the 4-minute as soon as we're done going through the analysis on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so stay with me. I'm going to show you. All right, so trade got done right about 10:30 right there when cycle crossed below the zero line, dead nuts on right at the top. Okay, and you guys know that if momentum is cruising up right here, you're not going to jump into that short until when momentum actually dips. So you had momentum dip right there, which means great, it's going to get off the highway. Okay, and as soon as it dips, that's your entry for a short. And that short came all the way here until cycle crossed above momentum, which was, look, you could see the crossing right there. And that was at about 11:45 a.m. Okay, 11:45 a.m. Then you had the next trade to the upside. Remember that when cycle crosses above the upper threshold, you're getting toppy already. Okay, you're going to have to start looking for an exit right there. Okay, the moment it tilts down right there, you can exit that trade because that's really where momentum, you know, falls from being at its high right there. Okay, your trade would have been over right around there for the upside. Now, your downside trade. Okay, your downside trade, even though cycle crossed below the zero line here, you're not going to take downside until you see momentum do what? Come down. Momentum comes down right here. You can see it, okay, coming down, and that's your downside trade right there. Now, what's important to note in all this trading action that happened early in the morning is this candle over here. Right here, okay? This was a 10 a.m. candle. So let me show you how to avoid getting caught in this pullback at 10 a.m. All right? So you see the 945 bar. You want to, you know, I've gone over the process with you guys many times. You see a setup. You have a long setup right here to go long on the 15-minute. What's the next thing that you do? Can someone type it in the comment box, please? You see a setup. What's the next thing that you do? You pray. Confirm with the 4 or 7 minute. Exactly. Exactly. You confirm with the 4 or 7 minute. Now let's go over here. All right. You're going to go over here. We're going to look at our 4 minute time frame right here to see how this would have shaken out this morning. Okay. Remember, the bar we're concerned about is that 10 a.m. bar. Okay. We look at the opening of the market here, and right around that 10 a.m. bar, okay, this bar would have closed at 9:40. The first bar on the 15-minute candle would have closed at 9:45. So you would have been right about here. Okay, right there, which is 9:42. 9:46, this would have been the 9:46 bar right there, okay? Now, seeing where this was, right there, okay? Cycle was all the way to the top. Would you have gone in on that trade to take a long? Okay, probably not. Because had you gone into exactly, nope, that's right, because you had gone in on that trade, okay, a couple bars later, you would have saw this pullback that happened as cycle was coming down, and guess what? You would have got caught on that 10 a.m. bar, okay, you would have got caught in that 10 a.m. bar going down as the intrabar oscillation would have just knocked you upside the head right here. And you would have been like, oh my goodness, the 9:45 bar was going up. But the 10 a.m. bar all of a sudden opened and it just tanked. You see that? That's why you can't jump in just when you see the trade set up on the 15. You want to confirm which way cycle is rotating. And if you saw that it's way up on top, you know, guys, that you're going to have a reversal when? To the downside. You're going to have a reversal to the downside before it does what? Look. It comes down right here, bottoms out where cycle comes all the way down over here, okay? And then once it comes out of the threshold here at the bottom and it crosses, then you actually have movement to the upside over here again, which would have been movement from like the 10:15 bar all the way till 10:18 over here. Okay, very simple. You don't have to complicate your trading using 10 different indicators to confirm what I just showed you on the screen right now. All right, guys? That's how you would have avoided I think this was the 10 a.m. bar from having been crushed when that bar, intra-bar, oscillated to the downside. Because remember, I've told you many times that for every 15-minute bar, you have approximately 4 4-minute candles, approximately. Okay, because 4 times 4 is 16, so you have approximately 4 4-minute candles, okay? Here you go. 1, 2, 3, and then finally the 4, because obviously if you look at the 10 a.m. candle on the 15-minute chart, it went down and it went up. It went down and it went up. Okay? There you go. That's how you avoid the intrabar whipsaw that you would have saw on the 10-minute candle by confirming here on the 4-minute time frame. And this pretty much got you out dead nuts on right here at the top, which coincides with the top on the 15-minute candle right there. All right? So that's one thing I wanted to illustrate to you, because getting caught in that intrabar whipsaw, let me tell you, it's not fun. Now, one of my subscribers wrote me and said, well, it's just a hassle using two different charts to confirm things. I have a really sharp subscriber who's actually watching right now, who actually took both time frames and married them together. You can do that on NinjaTrader, where you can have the forefront time frame and you can have another time frame running in the background, and you can have both indicators on the same chart. Okay, so if you're limited in desktop space, for example, if you're using a laptop and you don't have multiple monitors, and putting two charts side by side the way I have them here on my screen creates a visual that isn't appealing, because it crunches everything up and it's hard to make sense of the rotation of the lines or even the candles in your chart. And there's a way you can actually combine two time frames. You can combine the 15-minute time frame, you can combine the 4-minute time frame, or the 15 and the 7 into one chart, okay, and have two indicators. You can have the 15-minute CYMO, and you can have the 4-minute CYMO right below it on the same chart. This way you don't have to navigate between two charts when you're trying to confirm your trades on the 4-minute or the 15. Just put them both on one chart, and you'll have the rotation for the 4-minute, the 15-minute. You will only see one set of candles, which will be the 15-minute to get market structure, or the 4-minute if you decide to put that in the foreground and put the 15-minute in the background. Okay, so there's a way to do that on NinjaTrader, and one of my very creative viewers brought that to my attention. I was like, wow, that's really cool. It's another way of presenting the data on your chart to save space, and to just kind of keep everything in one workspace where you can just look at the two CYMO indicators and see exactly how they're interacting with each other. So that's food for thought, guys. Play around with the idea and see if this is something that would benefit you if you have limited space, especially if you're using a laptop. Okay, so again, what happened here? Let me just go back here. We had that little sell-off, right? And that little sell-off that started like right around 10:30, which was over here when everything started to go down. Yes, that sell-off started, and you would have confirmed the entry on the 15-minute. You would have looked at your 4-minute right here, saw that, yep, this is going down. And this, look, it came down, 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 down. Cycle bottomed out right here, right around like 10:30, 10:38 in the morning. But look what happened here, guys, okay? Remember, this would be the first cyclic rotation to the downside right here. First cyclic rotation right here, okay? Boom, 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 right there. What happened when cycle came out from the threshold at the bottom and crossed right here, momentum actually sunk. Let me just scoot this back so you can see it right there. Momentum actually sunk here to the bottom, okay? And what do we know about momentum sinking to the bottom, okay? We know that when momentum drives into the highway from being on the service road right here, okay, it starts to accelerate, and you have an acceleration in price coming down. You see that? In which case, you want to look for the second cyclic rotation to actually completely get out of that trade. So you had your first cyclic rotation right here. You had your second cyclic rotation right there. This second cyclic rotation right here, whenever you see momentum at the bottom, really nails the absolute bottom to this trend component that you saw with price right there. The end, okay? The end right there, okay? You had another bottoming out right here with cycle just, coming down. Again, it did an about face right there. And then when momentum did the about face right there, that was, I told you guys before, trades from this little window right here, from this zero marker right here, are very aggressive. I normally don't take them because they're typically representative of noise, okay? If you are a more aggressive trader or a scalper and you saw momentum all of a sudden doing about face to the downside and you had cycle doing about face right there, yeah, you could have taken this right there and exited your trade. Look at this. Dead nuts on right there at the bottom. The moment it kinks up right there, I mean, you cannot get a more refined exit than that. You know, very aggressive trader would have taken this, not me, okay? But I'm just illustrating to you, you know, the setups that I typically would normally take. Now, what's happening here with, just go back here, and I'm just going through this whole day with you guys, step by step, okay? What's happening here? Cycle swings up right here, and momentum finally swings up. When momentum finally swings up right here, guys, this is your entry to go long. You know, cycle didn't exactly swing all the way to the top. It did swing, hit the threshold right there. Yeah, this is the 4 minute. This is the 4 minute with, this is for the Nasdaq 100 with a setting of 9. It swung, didn't go above the threshold, but it still swung. Look at this. Here's your second trade right there. Okay, boom, the end. But it's not necessarily the end because I want you to notice what happened here, okay? Yes, cycle swung up. It kissed goodbye with momentum right about 12:06. But what did momentum do, guys? Okay, right here. What did it do at this point? Highway, that's right. And we know that when momentum goes on the highway, you know, it's going to start to trend. Exactly. You nailed it. It's going to start to trend. And so when you start counting the cyclic rotations, you had your first cyclic rotation right here. And at the end of that first cyclic rotation, you saw when momentum went into the highway. That means price is going to start to trend. And what do? We look for the second rotation to mark the end of the trend. And here it is right here. Look, the second rotation begins at 12:26. And at 12:26 p.m., you had the second rotation that ends right when cycle crosses below the zero line, which is exactly at 12:50, and that marks the end of that upside. Right there. Okay? 2 cyclic rotations. The first one, which begins the trend, right? Your cycle ends right here. Trend begins right here the moment it hops on the highway. This bad boy steps the pedal to the metal and price continues going up. You look at the second cyclic rotation right here, which ends at 12:50 when it crosses below the cyan line. The end of the trend right there, guys. There's nothing else left to your upside at this point. You're done. Any questions so far? And guys, don't forget to take the CYMO for the 7-day test drive with no obligation. But if you are going to take it for a 7-day test drive, at least give yourself the benefit of having a one-on-one session. Can I do the 4-minute YM? Let's see if I can get a 4-minute YM chart up on my screen. Hang tight. Let's see here. Okay, so I can get a 4-minute chart of the YM. The only thing with the YM, I will tell you, is that I don't have real-time data on the YM because I only have a subscription to the Nasdaq 100 and the E-mini S&P futures on NinjaTrader. We will go over the YM, but I just want you to note that. Oh, okay. Now I got stuck here. I don't know why I got stuck. Give me a second. This is the CYMO Pro. Okay, I had a dialog box open here. Sorry, guys. Yeah, this is a CYMO Pro indicator, and you can grab it from the link in my bio. And let me add the CYMO here to the YM chart. And let me clean this chart up just a little bit because out of the box, you know, it comes with all these excellent lines everywhere that make your chart look extremely cluttered. Let's see here. Give me a second, guys. I'll get that YM chart for you up in a second. I'm just cleaning it up a little bit so it looks presentable to you. Alrighty, and let me just add some reference lines here, and I'll bring it up to screen right now. Okay, hang with me. Okay, so I will go ahead and bring the YM now that I've cleaned it up a little bit you know, and we can use this as a talking point right here. All right, guys, here we go on the YM right there. Okay, I'm not an expert at trading the Dow Industrials. What I can tell you, because I am familiar with how the index is composed, that the Dow Industrials are a little bit noisy, but it doesn't mean they can't be traded. It just means that if you're dealing with a noisy spectrum, you have to be a little more cautious in your approach to taking trades. That's all that means, okay? It doesn't mean that it's not tradable. It just means you got to be way more cautious in taking trades because it is a bit of a noisy instrument, okay? So anyway, looking at the YM and this massive drawdown that just happened right now in the Dow, right here, okay? Here you go, right here. Let me actually scoot this bad boy over here, and I'm going to start it here because this is the most recent data that I've got. And remember, this is delayed data because I don't have a subscription to the YM, so just bear that in mind. I only have subscription to the NQ and E-mini S&P. But either way, we can illustrate this and look and see what it's done today. So right at about 1:32 Eastern time, okay, you had cycle swung from 1:20 in the afternoon. It was here all the way, okay, right there, all the way at the bottom, swung all the way up over here, okay. You had, during this whole time, you know, you had momentum just cruising along the service road right here. So there was no trend component anywhere right here, okay. And we know that when you have this type of swing in momentum between the thresholds, your exits are typically where you have your swings in the momentum, I'm sorry, in the cycle from one extreme. Yes, this is the 4-minute, but it's the 4-minute of the Dow Jones futures, the YM. So I switched over to the YM because one of the viewers wanted to see a view of how the YM shook out today. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the YM right now. So cycle went from this threshold here all the way up to the top. And remember, there's no trend component right now in the price. Okay, right up here. Okay, when this thing tilted to the downside at around 1:40 in the afternoon, this was your entry to go short right there. Boom, 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 boom. Watch this carefully, okay? You typically would have exited right here had it not been for momentum sinking below the lower threshold right here. This is the YM. What you're looking at is the YM on the chart, the Dow Jones Industrials right now. The fact that momentum sunk right here, right about the crossing of the cycle and the momentum line right here. What did that tell you? Momentum just went into the highway, right? And what typically happens when that happens? Price accelerates. And in this case, in the YM, it accelerated really good to the downside. Trend mode, exactly. And we know in trend mode, you typically wait for 2 cyclic reversals. So you had the first reversal right here, reversal number 1, right? And then you had the second one right here, coming down right there, okay, which is just about to end right there to conclude the trend component of the downside right there soon. So it may have already ended because my timestamp here is 2:40 and it's 2:43. So this is going to end pretty soon right there. Oh man. Yeah. But this is how this trade would have been traded right here. First down right there. Momentum goes into trend mode right there. You stick in the trade and you wait for the second rotation to get out. Okay, when that second rotation, when this crosses right here, you're done. That is the end of the trade to your downside. Let's see if there was another. I mean, there's always opportunities in the spectrum when when you're trading. Let's look at. Here's another interesting one right here, and I'll just scoot this bad boy over here a little more. Okay, right here. Here's another interesting one right here. You had the cycle, okay, you can call it a rubber band if you want, just sunk below the lower threshold right here, okay. The moment it came up right there, remember that you had momentum that was traveling along the service road right there. That's your entry to go long. You go long, 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 long. It kisses goodbye right here with momentum. But what does momentum do? Momentum goes from being on the service road into the highway right here. And what typically happens? You have a movement in price. And look at that. Price continued its trajectory as momentum entered the highway and started going into trend mode. In which case, you look for your second reversal to exit. This was your first, okay? This is your second, right there, okay? Right about 10:56 in the morning, the end, okay? Right there. I think it's 10:56 right there. Yep, the end of the upside, all right? Yes. My thresholds are at the same points with the YM. That's a good observation and a good question. So the upper threshold is at 0.80 and the lower threshold is at negative 0.90. So yeah, same threshold. So there you go, guys. Two really good trade setups on the YM for today's session. And let's see how that other cyclic component right there. Now you're still there. And as soon as this bad boy crosses above it, you're done. Finito with the YM. Okay? Right, so there you go with the YM, guys. I'll just scoot this aside in case, and I'll just leave it there in case someone asks for a review of the YM a little bit later. I can just bring it up now that we've got that covered right there. Oops, you know what? Let me just go back here, and I'll just put that right there. This is the CYMO Pro. It's not an oscillator. Absolutely, G-Rod. You're welcome. Yeah, this is not an oscillator. These are two algorithms that work in tandem together. You've got a cyclic component. You've got a momentum component. And they're called the CYMO Pro indicators. And you can find them on NinjaTrader. They're exclusively for the NinjaTrader platform. Or you can get them from the link in my bio. Okay? So here's what I did yesterday. We brainstormed and we put together another CYMO Pro video that helps you spot weak trade setups. Okay, that's important because I can sit here and I can go over all the trade setups that have happened today and will probably happen for hopefully the rest of the day. But you also have to learn how to spot when you have a weak trade setup. And we put a video out on YouTube yesterday, how to spot weak trade setups, and definitely watch it if you haven't already, because that'll keep you out of trades that you shouldn't be going into. Okay? And it's a short 2-minute video, but it's definitely worth watching. Okay? What signaled the sell-off? Well, double down, Dan. There's a lot of news elements right now floating around in the market. And if you're reading the morning brief that we all read, the viewers that have been watching this for some time, you would have known that today was full of all kinds of little mind traps all over the place, little events that took place throughout the course of the day since this morning that are potential market movers. So yeah, we covered that at the beginning of the session today. And I'll tell you guys, as we prepare for tonight's presidential debate, which could further influence market sentiment, I want to hear from you. How are you adjusting your approach in response to today's market dynamics? Share your thoughts and let's discuss how you can use CYMO Pro to navigate these uncertain waters. It's right here on the screen. This is a 4-minute time frame. That's all right, man. No worries. Thanks, G-Rod. Appreciate it, man. Thanks, man, for being part of today's session, buddy. We'll catch up tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a very interesting day in the market. Have a great rest of your day as well. All right, guys. So we're here. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. So I got a few questions. You know what? I lost track that I had YouTube going on in another monitor. I've had a few questions there. Let's see here, guys. Okay, start trending. Okay. And let's see here. We have trading hours to only look at during New York market hours. How would you trade tonight during the debate? I wouldn't. I absolutely would not trade tonight's session at all for a number of very, very good reasons. Tonight's debate is not something that I would trade for my own account and for anybody's account's health. It's not. I mean, you're trading volatility. That's one of the things I avoid trading. And if there is any type of volatility as a result of whatever transpires in tonight's debate, I certainly don't want to be a part of that. No way. All right, guys. You know what? I also lost track of the fact that I was looking at the 15-minute time frame over here because I was illustrating a bunch of stuff on the 4-minute, and I forgot to showcase to you that yes, this here is a setup to go long. You got to be careful with this setup though, guys, because on the 4-minute time frame, cycle has stretched out, but this is a setup right here at almost 3 p.m. To go to the long side. Also, you got to look at your 7-minute time frame over here, okay, and you can see where this actually began right here. The moment it just crossed up, boom, you had this bar that actually, and I completely lost sight of that because I was thinking of like 10 other things in my head, and boom, it just shot up. I missed it, and there you go. It's getting a little bit toppy right there. So watch your 7-minute, watch your 4-minute, but there you go. And we can watch this on the 15 minutes so you guys can see the full cyclic rotation on this if you want. But this was actually a very good trade setup. I'm still like kicking myself that I didn't take it. Okay. You had cycle way down here at the bottom. The moment it crossed right there, yes, that's your entry. So what do? You go back to your 4-minute over here, okay, you're a smart trader. You're not going to just jump into it just because you saw it, right? And you confirm. And what is cycle doing right here? Cycle just bottomed out. Look at that. Cycle just bottomed out, and it's about to go up. It just actually crosses right here to the upside from the bottom. So you got a confirmation on your 15-minute. You get a confirmation On your 4-minute, it's upside, guys. Okay? Simple as that. Then you're going to go and wait until your cyclic rotation completes on your 15-minute to get out of your trade. And I'll just leave this here for now. Right here, you had cycle had just bottomed out from having come down right here. You see that on the 15-minute? Right here, just bottomed out, came back up, okay, crossed the zero line right here as momentum is coming down. Okay, momentum coming down, cycle going up, that is your entry for a long setup right there. Now, what we want in this trade, sure, absolutely. One thing to keep in mind is that program traders, and I consider myself a program trader, a systematic trader, an algorithmic trader, whatever label you want to put on it, because I develop these algorithms in different formats to trade the Nasdaq 100 futures. Okay, what is your 15-minute set to? I have it set to 9. I actually dropped it to 9 this morning. I had it set at 11 for the last 5 days or so, and I decided to drop it to 11 purely out of experimenting because I thought, okay, I read the brief this morning and I said, man, you know, this market's going to be really super choppy this morning. It's just going to go all over the place. And I put it at 9. You know, I just thought, hey, 9 is a good number. I picked 9, and it just seemed to work today. It seemed to work today. So that's what I have it set to. I have it set to a super fast setting of 9 right now, which seems to be doing pretty good in today's session. And that's, again, based on what I read this morning. I figured it's going to be a really noisy market today, and I may as well set it to a tuning where it's highly responsive. And there you go, right there. So the idea with, thank you guys, I appreciate the likes. Thank you so much. It's really, really encouraging. It really is. Because I know some of us are sitting by ourselves trading, and trading's a lonely sport. So it's nice to have a sense of community with everyone here who's watching. So the idea with, when we develop systems and algorithmic strategies is, in the market, you're always going to get these falls in momentum right here, okay? And momentum is a little bit slower at turning than the cyclic component here, okay? Think of it as the cycle pulling, the cycle being the tugboat and momentum being the cargo ship, okay? It takes the cargo ship a little bit to turn, but momentum actually does. The tugboat actually is the one doing the pulling for you right there, okay? Algorithmically, this is exactly what you want to see in the market. You want to see momentum falling, the cycle cross, and in the next bar or two, you want to see an uptick in momentum, which you just got right there, okay? You just got right there. So let's see how this trade shakes out over the next 15-30 minutes right here. So it's going to be interesting to see. And you might get pullback too, okay? Just because you see the setup on the 15-minute going up, it doesn't mean you're not gonna have a pullback of some type intra-bar. If you look at your 4-minute, you're right there, due for a pullback intra-bar. So Just bear in mind, you will have those pullbacks as price continues to march in a specific direction. But the key to avoiding them is looking at your 4-minute chart. Okay, a few of you guys had asked me what the levels were that I've got plotted on the Qs, okay? And I'm going to give them to you right now. So, if you want to take a pen and paper out, and these are for today, all right? These are for today, June 27th. So, these levels are based, oops, hang on a second. TikTok is asking me to verify that I am still on here. Okay, cool. These levels are based off of 0 day to expiration options. So these option contracts are expiring today, and these levels basically represent areas within price where you've got really high amounts of open interest. Okay? And so if you guys want to take note of that, I can give them to you right now. So grab a pen, grab a paper. These levels are only for the Qs. So if you got a chart with the Qs, regardless of time frame, you can go ahead and put these there on the Q charts, okay? So, the spot price today, based on 0 day gamma expiration levels for the Qs, is 480.37. Okay, that's the spot price, 480.37 today. Your 0 day to expiration call wall is at 483. Your 0 day to expiration put support is at 475. And your high volume level collectively for the Qs for option open interest is at 479. Your 1 day expected move max based on option open interest is set to 484.94. And your 1 day expected minimum move is set to 475.80. All right? So those are the levels that you can plot on a chart for the Qs for 0 day to expiration option open interest that expired today. Okay? And those are very important levels to be mindful of. And those levels are not like support and resistance or any of that, or supply and demand levels. That stuff does not work, guys. It doesn't work. And I'm telling you because I have dissected and tested that stuff. It does not work. If you're plotting 0 day to expiration gamma levels on your chart, yeah, that's a completely different set of tools in and of themselves, okay? The gamma expiration levels just plot the option open interest based on those levels I shared, where you've got high concentrations of open interest at those levels. Those are bets that people have actually placed on options that are expiring today. So you definitely want to know those levels because price tends to gravitate towards those levels in the course of the day. And we know that because we know that the option market leads the market. And so having those as a reference point on your charts is actually helpful. Now, just in case one of you guys is thinking, oh, can I get this on NinjaTrader? No, you can't. There is nothing on NinjaTrader right now at this very moment that would provide you those levels. Okay? I actually have a program I designed in Python that scrapes it directly from the CVOE, and I'm able to plot it on my TradeStation chart, because obviously you can't get the Qs on NinjaTrader because the Qs aren't futures. It's an ETF. So, I got to plot my Qs on a TradeStation chart and plot those lines respectively there. So. Oh, okay. One of our viewers says that it's looking like someone's developing something that's going to be coming out on NinjaTrader sometime mid-July. So that would be nice if someone did that, because it would make it a heck of a lot easier for me than to have to look at two different charts. Then I could illustrate what the lines are here on this chart, and you guys would have a reference point for you to watch. Okay? Here we go, guys. Look what's happening with the 4-minute time frame, okay? Here we go. All right? Okay? This signaled the perfect entry point right here on that upside trade setup that you got on the 15-minute, okay? You got the trade setup on the 15-minute right here, all right? And you had the perfect setup right here on the 4-minute to see this go long right here. Now all of a sudden, when cycle just came down a little bit right here, right where it kissed goodbye with the momentum line, what was momentum doing? It was going from the service road into the highway right here. Look at that. Which potentially could mean that this, if it really goes above this, you could potentially see this thing go into a trend. So we'll see. And we'll see if it goes into trend mode. If it does go into trend mode, remember, 2 cyclic rotations ends the trend. Okay? This is the cyclic rotation number 1, right here. If this bad boy goes into the highway, we're going to see another movement like this, and then down to hopefully end the upside rotation right there. So we'll see if that happens, if momentum actually does go into the highway. So I've got a question on the 4-minute chart. Did the cycle start at first cross of cycle line and zero line at 1435? I don't have a 1435 on this chart. I think you might mean you mean right here? Is this what you're referring to, Deepal? So I don't have 1435 on my chart. I'm on a 4-minute chart. I got 1434, but I don't have a 1435. Or are you referring to the YM, maybe? Oh, here we go. Look. This bad boy just went into the highway. All right, so what are you going to wait for until this trade? You know what? Come on.
Other field.
All right, cool. You know what? This filled me up with 2 contracts. Crap.
Other field.
All right, I'm back down to 1. All right, it gave me a fill on TradeStation for 2 contracts. I clicked the button twice, so I took one contract off. All right. I took a long on that trade right there because I want to see this thing go up, do the second rotation, and then get out of the trade. 434. Let's see here. Okay. I see what you're looking at. No. This crossing right here. You see how cycle's coming down, momentum's going up, and then it gets really messy in this area right here, right around 1434, and then it comes back down again. I don't take any trades from this center region. None. I don't. I wait for cycle to bottom out or to top out before I take any type of rotational trades in any direction. This about face right here at 434, and then having it come down again, that's not a real setup for you to go long or short. And so I'll avoid trades like this in the middle. Yeah, so your cycle component right here at 434, okay, you wouldn't see this until like the 438 line, okay? So this is a cyclic rotation. Yeah, this is a cyclic rotation right here to the downside that pretty much ends right there. Is it a good cycle? No. I wouldn't consider this to be a good cycle. Yeah, but you're not considering the rotation of the momentum line. If you go back to that screenshot I sent you yesterday, look and see where the momentum line was relative to where this is right here. Okay, in both instances where you saw the up down, momentum was outside of the thresholds in all instances. Right here, it's right in the middle. And this just signifies an area of noise. So yeah, up, down, up. Make sure that your momentum component is above or below the threshold, just as the screenshot illustrated for you. Right here, there's nothing here. And again, guys, there's a couple of things that are important. Okay, every one of us has a different approach to trading, and that is consistent with each person's risk management profile. Okay, my risk management profile is different than yours, and I come on here and when I illustrate what I do, I'm telling you how I trade my own account using the tools that I developed to trade the Nasdaq 100 futures. Every trader is different. Every trader is going to look at these signals to accommodate their own risk profile and how they trade. So what works for me is going to be different than what works for you, just simply because our approaches are a lot different, okay? So also, remember, I'm live streaming this for educational purposes and entertainment. And I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not a licensed representative to give you specific trading advice on where to place your trades or how to manage your account. I can't do that. I'm just illustrating here what I'm looking at as far as trade setups that I think would be high probability for me in the process of me trading my account. And I do this live. I do this for my account almost on a daily basis. So, yeah, I illustrated that. Hang on, let me see. I illustrated that I think a few times, but let me go over that again. Okay, so here we had a setup right here where momentum is falling, and it's falling relatively close to where cycle crosses the zero line right here at 1445. Okay, that's a trade setup to go long. You want to confirm that on your 4-minute time frame. Okay, real simple. You come over here, and what are you watching? You're watching cycle bottom out right here at about, I think it's 1442. Okay, moment cycle gets out of this range right here. You already had trade structure set up and a trade setup on your 15-minute time frame. Okay, this is your signal to go long. Okay, you're here at the threshold, it's coming out of the threshold, you already got trade set up on the 15, you go long right here. Okay, conservative trader would have exited there, but you saw that momentum just entered the highway, so you're going to have one more cyclic swing, hopefully to the upside, to end this trade. We must have a difference. You're on a 4-minute time frame, and it's dropped at, I don't know. I'm on Eastern time right now, and this candle that is that looks like it's dropping right now is on the 1522. This will close at 1522. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why yours shows one long and one short. Yeah, because I'm not. Yeah, that's James. That's something I can't answer for you, but I am showing you how this is trading live right now. This candle that you're watching right now, will close right now in 2 minutes. It's only 3:20 Eastern time. You got to put your marker right there to see where that candle on your chart is going to close. Now this long trade right here began down here. Okay, this began right here at this bar, which was, I think, the 1446 bar. Okay, And it went up, 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 up. Okay, and right about, I think it was 302, you had a crossing right here, which would have ended your trade if you were a little bit more conservative. And then you had momentum just go above the threshold right here. So now this component right here is the trend component. And now you're waiting for the second rotation to come up and come down to end that cycle component. Okay? Oh boy, it looks like this cyclic component right here is not going to be as strong right there. Look at that. Okay, because it's coming down right there. Okay, that is coming down right there. All right. So this cyclic component right here, this momentum component right here to the upside is fizzling out. Your 15-minute is still hanging right there. Alrighty, you too. Yeah, have a good one for the rest of the day, and we'll see you back again tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a lively session. I am still in that long trade right now that I took just a little while ago, getting a little banged up and chopped up, but I'm still in it. Thanks. And we've got bar change on the 15-minute in exactly 5 minutes. I usually come live Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. The only way to find out when I come live is to hit the notification bell on my profile and subscribe. Just follow me, and that will tell you when I can. You'll get a little notification on your phone when I come live. Do you enter in on your trades at the beginning of the NEO? No. I typically wait the first half hour of the trade session. Sometimes I'll wait 45 minutes to get market structure and try to get a feel for how the market is going to shape up that day. And then I start making my trading decisions for the rest of the day. But I don't get in at the open. I never do that. There's too much overlap with the London session, and there's too much noise. And the likelihood of you making a bad trading decision is really high during that session. Yeah, exactly. You want to wait. You don't want to jump in because no one's got perfect information as to what happened in the overnight session. In fact, um, during my time when I when I was overseeing a trade desk at a hedge fund, none of the guys traded in the morning session. They all waited till 2 p.m. in the afternoon and traded afterwards. They used to laugh at the guys that used to trade in the morning session because they used to say, those guys, they're going to get killed. And and then they would come when the market, all the dust would settle right around 2 p.m. and place those trades. Sorry guys, this keeps moving because we keep getting a bunch of candles on this. So this candle here is going to close in about 2 minutes. So not to get political with you guys, but who do you think is going to win the presidential debate tonight? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Type it up in the comment box. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, someone said nobody. Honestly, I want them both to lose. Nothing but bad options. Oh, I love these comments. Keep them coming, guys. People have already made up their minds. Yep, I think you're right. All right, guys, so I'm still in this long trade that I had taken a little bit ago. And we've got the first cyclic rotation ended here, okay? We've got the second cyclic rotation that's going over here as momentum is falling. And when this rolls back, okay, like this, you will have the end of the trend component, which you had a little bit of. It wasn't a strong trend. It was just like for a few bars, and it ended. Typically, when this happens, you go into regions of noise in the market, and if trend isn't if it isn't elevated the way it was right here, okay, you're probably going to go into this phase where the market is really losing steam to this upside push right here. And you have to be careful if that happens, okay, because it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and you know, if you're wrong, you're only going to have 2 bars left to correct that decision and get out of the trade. I'm pretty much at 0 right now on this trade because I took it, I think it was right here as this was going up. I got whipsawed down and I'm right there right now too. So momentum dropped. I'm near 0 on this trade. I've got 2 bars left on the day on the 15-minute candle. Do I want to risk it to the upside, or do I just want to take this as a scratch? You know, I'm down like $10 right now. Now I'm down 15, so it's not. I'm looking at my trade station chart here. I will likely take this off because it's 3:30 in the afternoon right now. Okay. 30, 15, 10.
Out of field.
Done. All right. I got out with like a $12 scratch right there, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay because I had a great morning today already on the Nasdaq, and because it's already 3:30 in the afternoon, it's like, you know what? If it's 3 o'clock and I'm here, that's different. If it's 3:30 with potential volatility between now and the close, risk management, hey, it's better to go ahead and just take that scratch and stay on the sidelines. Yeah, green is better than red, man. Absolutely. So, Trump weekend and Bernie will be sleeping. Yeah. I think this is going to be one of the most watched debates of all time because, you know, this is the second time Trump is running for president, and you know he's a real fiery figure, and there's a lot of mixed opinions on you know who's going to win the presidential election, whatever. But I am very interested to see how this all plays out tonight, and I'll be watching. Wow, look at this. Dude, was I right to take that trade off? Look at this. Look at this on the 4-minute. Wow, 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 wow. Amazing. Does price ever go into the highway? Game editing, and then get back on the fast. Fake exiting. Okay. Now, I'm trying to understand what you mean by price. Does price go into the highway? Are you referring to the momentum line, or are you referring to the CYMO line? What are you referring to as price? Dude, was I right to get off at this bar right here? Dude. Ha ha! My instincts, I'm telling you, man, I've been doing this for a long time, and I know that after 3:30, you get these type of stupid reversals. The momentum line. Oh, yeah, it does. I mean, look, you saw an example of that right here, okay? Right here. This is when momentum hops on the highway, right there, okay? So you get your first cyclic entry. Let me stretch this back so you can see it a little better right there, okay? You get your first cyclic entry right around, I think it is 11:38 in the morning, right there. That is your first cyclic entry to the upside. This is an upside setup right here on the 4-minute, okay? Now, traded with CYMO Pro on 3 prop accounts, green on all. That's true. Oh, cool, man. Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, appreciate the good review, man. Thanks. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Just turning up my volume here on my phone. Glad it's working out for you, man. Really happy to hear that. As a developer, this is like the best news ever. I really like that. I like hearing positive reviews. Thank you. So here you had it. Look, you had the first entry here to go long. Okay. Your cycle component went all the way. It swung right here. And right about when it kissed goodbye right here with the momentum line, momentum went into the highway. Right here you have momentum cruising along the service road. And right here it goes right into the highway. And you see the acceleration of when it went into the highway and this bar? Right here. Just perfect acceleration into the highway. And it continues roaring on the highway to the upside until the second cyclic rotation is complete, which is right here. Okay? And that ended exactly at 12:50 p.m. today. The end of the uptrend. The end. That is like the perfect setup right there to have gone long and have taken advantage of this huge move to the upside right there. Okay? Fast forwarding to what just happened right now, 3:30 in the afternoon, I was right at jumping out on that bar right there because momentum was already falling. And I know from having done this for 20 plus years that anything after 3:30 gets choppy, gets nasty, gets very unpredictable. There's news events, there's all kinds of things that happen, okay? And sure enough, I was right. Look at that. Everything just, boom, to the downside. Doesn't mean that that's a trade entry that I take. So let me read this comment. I mean when that yellow line enters the top of the highway, then starts to curl down, then curls back up into the high. No, it doesn't do that. It generally does not do that. So whenever momentum, no, it doesn't happen. No, when momentum goes up, okay, it'll stay flat or elevated the way you see right here, and then it drops, boom, and then it drops and comes down right there. It's normally pretty. It's very, very. For example, like right here. Let me illustrate that to you. Okay, look. See right here. Okay. See right here. You see how it went up, and it stood up the entire time, all the way. That is a strong move to the upside. And then finally, when the cycle component fell right here, momentum lost steam, and then, momentum lost steam, and everything just started to slowly come down. You see that? Right there. That's very good. It works really, really well. That's the reason why you've got people using this to get funded accounts in their respective trade prop firms, and you get a lot of people as well who are using this on different instruments like the YM. Got guys that trade the E-mini. Got guys that trade other future instruments with this. It's a high precision algorithm. So I had a guy who used a product, and I'm not going to give the name of it away because I don't want to disparage their brand or anything while I'm doing this stream for brownie points, But yesterday on Wednesday I had a one-on-one session with a lot of our subscribers, and I get to hear how they're applying and using the CYMO Pro. I had one guy who had been using a very popular trading algorithm that's all over TikTok, it's all over YouTube. I'm not going to mention the name, just know that it's a very popular algorithm. And he was using it to try to get a funded account at one of the prop firms. So I think it was the day before yesterday or on Monday, he was following the signals that were being fired by the algorithm. He lost, in a series of trades, he lost like $5,000. And he was very upset. And when you're upset and you have a loss, what a lot of people do is they go into revenge trading mode. So he started to revenge trade. So he was initially trading, I think, 2 2 or 3 contracts, lost $5,000 on the signals the bot was firing him, and then he went into revenge mode trying to make it all back, and he ended up losing $10,000 at the end of the day using a very popular algorithm that is currently being used by a lot of traders. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry to hear that. That was terrible. Yeah, that's a huge loss, man. The guy, it just hurt to hear, you know? So then I think it was, he signed up for the CYMO on Tuesday, and he went back, applied it on the chart he was using, and he said, oh, dude, there is no way I would have taken any of those signals had I had your indicator on my chart. I said, wow. That's all I said. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. He says, your indicator spotted all the right entries. That stupid algorithm just got me in and out at the wrong times. It was a $10,000 lesson, guys. That was really difficult for me to hear, you know? And I'll just put it out there, you know, for anyone who's watching right now. You got to be careful with some of the bots that purport to have high win rates. There's a lot of those bots out there. I've had bigger losses than that. Ouch. I feel for you, man. And we've all had losses in the process of trading in the past. We've all had losses. I'm no exception. And, you know, when I first got started, I had some really big losses too. And it's all in the process of learning, right? When you first get started, you know, you're going to make mistakes. You know, revenge trading is one of them. And these things tend to repeat themselves over and over again. But right now, the environment is different than it was like 10 years ago or even 20 years ago, because you have the advent of AI. You know, you got guys going on ChatGPT, oh, create me a trading bot that has a high win rate, and they come up with shit that hasn't been back tested, that works some of the time, doesn't work other times. You got people creating trading bots that that are just really, you know, for lack of a better word, garbage, okay? They're just not trading. In fact, you know what? If you want a great article to use as a talking point, if you ever see a bot that you're thinking of signing up for, I wrote a really good article on algorithmic trading over on my website. If you guys go to the algotrader.live/insights, I've got a series of articles right there that I wrote on algorithmic trading. So I know what goes underneath the hood, guys. I've been doing this for a long time, professionally and as a private investor. Yeah, even if it's back tested, it can throw false signals. Yeah, and back testing, this whole article I wrote is exactly on that. It's on back testing and why back testing does not work. You know, your algorithms have to be forward tested on unseen data. And, you know, the problem with some of these bots is that they're using a static set of parameters that most of the time aren't optimized for the spectrum that you're using, okay? So what happens is every day a true algorithm needs to be optimized on a daily basis, okay? And it needs to be optimized because, you know, your spectrum here, okay, the frequency changes on a daily basis. All right, let me just switch this over right here to show you guys that the end of your cycle swing right here, just it's done right here. You know, this is done. There's nothing else. But your spectrum every day has a different frequency. Okay, and that frequency is going to vary. It's going to vary depending on noise, on your amplitude, and on several other factors that are not present in what you see here in the data. And you have to know how to capture that. So you know, people come up with different ways. They come with spectrum estimators to come up with that. but you have to know the build of the algorithm. The algorithm is just set with a certain set of static parameters, and it's not being optimized on a daily basis. And how do you know it's tuned to the correct frequency that's here in the spectrum, right? You're not, and so you're using a tool that is a set it and forget it on the number, and it will throw false signals. And just like this one guy who I spoke with yesterday who lost 10 grand, he was like, I just can't figure out, because everything I saw was working good. Now all of a sudden I took these signals in full faith that it were working, and 10 grand lost, dude. That's a lot of money to lose. But then a part of it is also his fault, because he began a revenge trade. And when you start revenge trading, you start making bad decisions that only expand on the current losses you have. So if you guys are ever presented with the opportunity to get one of those trading bots, read the article ahead of time that I wrote on my website. And that article right there will give you insights as to the questions you need to be asking, the type of reports you need to get. You just can't buy an algorithm without asking for certain type of reports that are important for you to have. You got to know which reports to ask for. You can't just ask a developer that created some trading bot, for back-tested results. He'll give you back-tested results. He'll be happy to give you back-tested results all day. But there's there's a truism in finance that says past performance is not indicative of future results, and that's very true for trading bots. Okay, so there we go. Market's going down, guys. This thing right here is just like, there's no strength to the upside. You saw how it came down right there. That's it. No, I don't like supply and demand. Supply and demand is smoke and mirrors. There are better approaches to supply and demand if you're going to draw lines on your chart. And we actually talked about that at the very beginning of today's session. We talked about the gamma expiration levels, for example, that are superior support and resistance lines than just standard support and resistance or standard supply and demand levels. There's a whole body of work out there on things concerning gamma expiration levels as they relate to 0-day to expiration options, and those actually have meat on the bone that you can actually plot on your charts and make heads or tails of the data that you're looking at in a meaningful way that could add good context and value to your trading approach. But there's a lot of tools out there, guys, that are not worthy of your use for trading purposes. Okay, you got stochastics, you've got RSIs, you've got MACDs. These are tools of yesterday that are really rendered useless in today's trading environment. You got to be very careful if you're using that stuff out of the box. So you got 10 minutes before the market closes, and let's do a quick recap. Now that we're here, 10 minutes before the market closes, guys, and remember, don't forget, presidential debate is tonight. All right, so don't forget that. All right. Alrighty, guys, here we go. Okay, opening bar of the market right here. Okay, you had this little zigzag thing right there, which is, to me, I don't like to trade off of these levels right here. Okay, but your first trade going in, if you would have saw this trade setup at the 945 bar, when the 945 bar closed, you would have saw it right here. Okay, now you would have been smart, and as a smart trader, okay, to avoid the whipsaw at this 10 a.m. candle, what would you have done? You would have gone to your 4-minute chart to confirm that the rotation of the cyclic component was actually moving up in the direction that you want. So I illustrated earlier on the 4-minute time frame how that worked out, okay? And you would have seen on the 4-minute time frame that it was not yet time to ride this bad boy to the upside. It just was not time to do that, okay? The 4-minute chart did present you the correct opportunity when the cycle turned up to have gone into the trade, to have caught this last leg of the trade right there. Okay, and that last leg of the trade right there ended precisely at 10:30 in the morning. There was nothing else left on that trade right there. Okay, then we know that when cycle crosses below the zero line, but momentum is still rising, you're not going to jump in that short. Okay, that is not where I would jump into a short right there, because momentum is still rising. You want momentum to tilt in the direction that you hope price is going to move, right there. And the moment it tilts to the downside with cycle being down, that's an entry to go short in my book. Okay, and you take that bad boy all the way down until you get the crossing right there at 12 noon. Okay, these trades could have been timed on your 4-minute time frame. Important. Okay, and then finally you had the move here to the upside, right here, which also coincided with moves over on the 4-minute time frame as well. Okay, and the moment again that this came down right here, which was about I think 1300, you're done, guys. There's nothing else left in the trade right there. Okay, you had this reversal to the downside that ended right there at 2:45 in the afternoon, and then you had this reversal to the upside that became very, 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 very noisy right around the 330 bar over here, and that was pretty much the that's pretty much the end of your trading session today, right there. Okay, it's been a fantastic day today in the process of trading the Nasdaq 100 futures. I thank you all for joining today's session. Remember, in markets like these, informed decisions powered by reliable tools like the CYMO Pro can make the difference between profit and loss. Don't forget to sign up for the 7-day free trial of CYMO Pro through the link in my bio. Your feedback and success stories really energize our community, and I appreciate every email and message. Keep those coming, and let's keep winning together. Have a great trading day, guys, and let's all stay tuned for the debate tonight, okay? No, it works on all symbols. All symbols that are available on NinjaTrader. Let me qualify that. So anything that you see on NinjaTrader, including Bitcoin futures, you could apply it to, as long as it's on NinjaTrader. So any symbol on NinjaTrader. All right, guys, happy trading. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, and we'll see each other tomorrow. Okay? Take care.